Welcome to Practical Talk Time. I'm your host, Usha Kumar. Last week, we had a wonderful show on addressing poverty, homelessness, and hunger in this country, and also how millennials are now coming forward to do something about it and help society feed the hungry. This week, I have the same guest, Santosh Kumar Kolluru, who's also a Danbury native, here to discuss about holistic living and how this can be done using the same Dharmic principles that he has learned from his parents. So please join me in welcoming Sai. Sai, welcome to the show.
Usha, thank you for having me again.
It's so nice, so redeeming to see a nice, bright, young face, talking about such serious subjects as social justice, spirituality, faith, interfaith cooperation, and also trying to address homelessness and trying to be mindful of the environment and create a holistic living. That seems to be an awful lot on a plate for a person who's what, 22?
24 actually.
24 now?
That's right. Yeah.
So you are an engineer. You have a mechanical engineering degree from Case Western Reserve.
Right.
And now you are planning to go to law school.
That's right.
In a few months.
That's right.
And you're a patent agent at this point.
That's right.
Trying to fill the gap, I guess.
Yeah.
Or maybe for future too.
Yeah, probably for future as an attorney.
So please tell me how you came to know this much and how you got to get this much on your plate.
Well, I've always been the kind of a person that cares about the world maybe too much sometimes, and it's not a good thing. But I try to care about things that are close to my heart. I've always seen the world as a place that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And within the community that I come from, it's interesting that we always only focus on, we define success as trying to make a lot of money or just trying to focus on just getting really rich. But for me, the values and my upbringing really opened my eyes to the issues that are facing the world. And I asked myself this question in college: what can I do to help this world? Am I just going to go off and make money and live my own life and do my own thing, or am I going to get into the core of this and be a part of this very central, basic help that the world and the issues that the world is facing? Yeah. And so that's when I got into social work, public service, and all these other things.
It is true that we do live in a very materialistic world, and this country especially is the father of such materialistic concepts. However, you went to the White House as an intern, and there you got into the spirituality and the faith aspect of it. So how did that happen?
Well, I was in the Office of Public Engagement, which deals with a lot of different communities and tries to help them connect them with senior officials of the government. And in this basic interaction, I saw the diversity in America, the communities that deal with, communities that have basic issues that need to be addressed. So for me, at the end
what is
of
the
day,
main issue in communities that you see?
That I've seen, it is, they say racism has gone away because we've progressed since Martin Luther King's times and Gandhi's time. Racism is still there. Discrimination is still there. A lack of understanding of a different way of life is still there. Mere acts of kindness, lack of that is still there. And so there's still a lot more. We're not a perfect union, but we try to get there, as this country has been saying. But we still see that.
My experience, having lived here for decades now, is that Americans are the most generous people.
They are.
And they're very kind too. You have, on the one hand, you have the very kind, generous Americans. But then on the other hand, you do have the very greedy corporate types in those that somehow got some kind of control over everything else, power,
Right.
as you may call it. And so the few people that hold such power and such greed, that have such greed, seem to ruin the way of life for
The
majority
rest
of people. But it's important for the young generation to question everything and
Right.
not just accept everything as granted.
Right. Right.
And see how you can contribute to the nation, to society over here.
Right. At the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, what is it that makes me? Where do I come from? What is the influence that I have in the circle of people that I'm friends with in the family? And according to that, if you're grounded in your principles, your spiritual values, your community, your family values, then with that grounding, you can then do something that you feel is right and impact those around you. And we've done that with the Dharmic Feeding Coalition, where we feed the homeless and hungry with the simple concept of food donation through vegetarian meals, because we feel that healthy meals heal. So introducing that, and during the time of Sandy, on one corner of the street there was a beef and pig roast feeding the hungry, and then on the other side we had the Hare Krishna temple feeding the homeless with nutritious vegetable food. And
so those who chose vegetarian food could eat from there.
Yeah, many of them chose to come to the vegetarian side because they felt that this healthy rice and different vegetables and spices really, help them have a clear mind and a healthy
they like the
body,
taste,
active,
I guess.
and the taste as well, of course. So with those concepts of vegetarianism, holistic eating, holistic living, with consideration to other creatures on this planet, is how we started the Dharmic Feeding Coalition.
We meaning who started it? Who's involved in it?
Well, there's myself. There are other community leaders in the community. People that are a few years older than me, who I've known, have come in contact with. Very Dharmic.
And which state are they in? Are they in New York or
New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut. We're all kind of family friends, and we decided that one day we have these intense discussions. We said, what can we do about these issues? So we've come together and try to, and it's also an effort to unite the community.
Yeah. Did you find out why these people were homeless and why they were hungry in this land of plenty?
Some of one of the basic things that I realized was a lack of family support. I think that I see a lot of these people that stand in line and a lack of family support. And
there's no one to call family. They might really have blood relatives, but they're not.
But they're not. They're neglected. They're made fun of, and then they become alcoholic addicts. Drug abuse becomes a part of their lives, and then there's just no one who cares for them. And while I was feeding one group of people, I saw a man just collapse in front of me, and we ask why. The first thing that comes to my mind and the many others that are there was a lack of family values. And we've heard that from the people that we feed, is that we don't have anyone that supports us. So God bless you all for standing here, the street corner, serving us food. And so that's one of the things I think we need to get back to is a good family is good for a good society. A good society is good for a good nation. A good nation.
Families shouldn't just take care of the people that are acceptable to them,
That's
but
right.
anyone who's sick or
That's right.
weak or having some mental problems, whatever, they should, I think, if they cannot handle it by themselves, should get the rest of the family together in order to take care of some of their own.
That's right. Going beyond your own family and who you are is, at the end of the day, the goal, because at the end of the day, we're all humans. We all have this divine life we're given. It's an honor to be a human being. Yeah. In the tradition I come from, we go through various cycles of life and death to get to the stage of a human being. So we say that the life of a human being, to have this opportunity is an
That
honor.
Yes, it's an honor and a blessing.
And a blessing.
That we did something good.
So we have to use that as the great power of being a human comes a great responsibility.
You mentioned Dharmic values, and can you just expand on that?
Sure. Dharmic values, at the end of the day, Dharma means the universal duty. So whatever duty...
Sanatana Dharma.
Sanatana Dharma, which is what Hinduism is. Sanatana means universal, Dharma means duty. So the duty, whatever duty we have now, whether it's being a college student, a husband, a wife, a son, a daughter, a teacher, a doctor, we have the duty to do what is right. And that is Dharma, to do what is right for the community, not just for yourself. Because one of the things that our tradition says, or Lord Krishna, one of the divine incarnations say is do what you can with what you have,
yes.
but leave the results to the divine.
Do your duty, don't expect anything in return.
Have no expectations, do what you can, and whatever comes your way, you take it, but have no expectations. Do it for the sake of duty.
Can we bring up some pictures of the feeding the homeless?
Sure.
Hopefully we can get a photo there.
This was behind the largest homeless shelter in Washington, D.C., where we were donating. We just had a table and set up vegetarian meals. We had halwa, which is a sweet, and 2 trays of rice and 2 trays of sabzi, vegetable spices, bananas and water bottles. We gave away over 200 to 300 meals that evening. And this was the day of Mahatma Gandhi's 145th birth anniversary, which was October 2nd, just a few days ago.
Yeah, thank you. So, in addition to the one in Washington, D.C., you have something going on in New York City.
That's right.
Please tell us about that.
Yeah, so every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., we serve healthy vegetarian meals in the corner of Adam Clayton Boulevard and 116th Street in Harlem. Various people come together to be a part of that. The Satya Sai Baba group, the Muslims Against Hunger, the Hare Krishna Temple, and just people from the community. We set up in a street corner. We bring the food. It's just a volunteer effort. We all bring different parts of the needs that we have there, and we just serve.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, where do you get the funding for this?
You know, it's the power of the people. People decide to give whatever they can give. We don't really have a budget or anything like that. We just for example, the homeless feeding in DC, I sent 1 email out to the Satya Sai Baba group, and they brought napkins. Someone donated plates and spoons and papers, all these things. Tables, all of these other things. And then the Hare Krishna Temple, I gave them a call and they said, can you give us homeless prasadam? And and they cooked up delicious, healthy, warm, healthy meals. And we arranged for someone to go pick them up, and I arranged for volunteers from the conference that we just had. And we just all came together. So the power of the people is where the strength for service comes.
What demographic, is involved in this? What age group?
What age group? My age group, actually, between the ages of 20 and 35. Because at the end of the day, we see service as the ultimate good that comes out of any way of life. So I try to get my friends involved as much as I can, and they love to be a part of it.
So in donating and feeding the poor, what else have you noticed? What else needs to be addressed in terms of society,
right,
and bringing in the concept of holistic living,
right,
and being aware and conscious of what we are doing to this earth
Sure.
and the resources?
Sure. We won't have any respect for our fellow human beings if we don't have any respect for the living creatures on this planet. At the end of the day, I'd like to always say that they've always been here before us, all the other living beings. We've just come here and occupied the space, and it's like this. It's like every other living being on this planet comes from the earth, uses its resources, and goes back to earth. The human being is the only one that comes, shapes and molds this surroundings for his or her own pleasures, and then leaves making either a good impact or a bad impact. And currently we see that we're making quite of a mess on this planet. So with that, I'm part of this nonprofit called the Lakshmi Cow Sanctuary, which rescues cows and animals from slaughterhouses, gives them mythological names found in the
So basically they are like retired cows.
They are retired cows, essentially.
Okay.
That's right. These are cows that have been milked in their 4 or 5 years.
And now they are being sent to the slaughterhouses.
And then,
so you're
that's right.
intercepting that and bringing them
in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they're after.
So where is this?
This is in Bangor, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Okay. Bangor, Pennsylvania, about
Okay.
70 miles from New York City.
I see.
And it's 42-acre land. A retired professor, an engineer as well.
I see. I'm very surprised that engineers are getting into this social service aspect. Yes. And the guys who have done social studies and humanities subjects don't seem to be involved in this. Maybe you should rope them in.
we will. I mean, it's just about finding something meaningful. And this professor, who's about 70 years old now, he's been a professor of engineering for 40 years. And upon his retirement, he bought, with his pension money and retirement money, 42 acres of land. And he rescues these cows and names them Radha, Bharati, Lakshmi. That's where the name Lakshmi Cow Sanctuary comes from.
That reminds me, when I was growing up, in the city we had enough grounds around our house that we had a little shed for cattle.
Right.
And we had a cow shed where we had a few cows. And we named the cows too. So they were named Lakshmi and Rama and all that.
We have a cow named Rama and Lakshmi at the sanctuary.
This is Rama, and once when Rama was kind of old, we still kept her. We still fed her and kept her. And then when she died,
Wonderful.
I remember my sister and I, we just cried and cried when Rama died. So it was like, these cows were like part of family. Can you please bring us pictures of the cow sanctuary? The cow there.
This is Yogeshwari. She's a girl.
So that's her name is Yogeshwari.
Yogeshwari.
Cow. Okay.
And when I first met her, she was walking towards me. I was walking towards her. I gave her a plate of rice, and she ate. They're very sentient beings, They have intelligence. I was chanting the Vedas, and they all stood quietly and listened to me as I was chanting.
Oh, really?
You'll find so many videos online too of music, that cows find music very interesting. They all listen very diligently. They're all very beautiful beings, and to get back to our point, if we have respect for these beings that don't have a voice, then we also ultimately realize the respect that we have for fellow human beings. And that kind of an inner transformation is what we need to work towards a world that's more peaceful, so that if I have a peace of mind, I can allow you to have a peace of mind. And that's one of the things, as I was mentioning, going back to the whole homeless feeding, this holistic living, is realizing that we need to first transform ourselves in order to transform our community.
That's another.
That's Vishnu. He just passed away. He collapsed on his feet. He used to eat a lot after he came to the sanctuary. He was also rescued from a slaughterhouse.
So this sanctuary allows them to spend their retirement years in peace before they die
Their
naturally.
rest of their lives, yeah, absolutely. You know, they're only given 4 years to be milked. After that, they're given a lot of fattening, so that they're fattened up for the slaughterhouses, so
I didn't know that.
so that they can end up in your hamburger and cheeseburger and other things. But yeah, there it is. A cow actually lives 25 years, and we tried it at the sanctuary. Show the use of a cow. Cow manure can be used for biogas, which is an alternative fuel. Cow manure can be used for organic fertilizers to make the land fertile again and help plants grow well and all that good stuff. So, you know, and then we also use it for our homam, which we do a lot of chanting and try to do.
Those are the fire rituals.
The fire rituals that we have, so that we believe that the cow dung actually purifies the environment.
When you burn it.
When you burn it, of course, and it's just a wonderful place. I would encourage everyone to please visit.
It's called, what is it called again?
The Lakshmi Cow and Animal Sanctuary. You can go to the website lakshmicowsanctuary.org. We try to focus on the effects of industrial farming, factory farming, and try to help people resort to
and this is just the effort of one professor, one guy in his retirement doing something.
That's right. He's
and
incredible.
When more people join, you can really
make a
difference in this world and in this country.
Simple changes, simple transformations and perspective like that, and actions like that are enough in how you change others within your circle of influence. And
you are a millennial. You don't seem to be lost like some others. And some others are lost and they don't have identity, or they feel very embarrassed to talk about their heritage, or even think about it, or even follow the pointers or advice given within that kind of a heritage. What do you say to them?
Well, I would say I'm lost in the perspective of my community. It's lost is it's always defined as you're lost if you're not pursuing money, or if you're not pursuing the normal societal norms.
But that is the general impression of the public.
That's right.
Okay.
So I try to say that.
So they think you're a loser if you're not making a lot of money.
A lot of money, or a doctor, or an engineer.
Or if you're not a big professional who's also bringing in a lot of money. Okay.
So I would say the millennials are going back to these concepts of healthy living, going back to what this world was about. Lost, I wouldn't say, I guess I was lost a little bit in college, but I do realize, and as other millennials do realize, we are trying to go back to doing what is right. I like to call it as an awakening, or like an enlightenment stage in our lives. Is that we're trying to realize that we see a lot happening in this world, a lot of issues in this world, and so we're going back to how to really solve these issues.
Do they want peace? Do the millennials want peace, or they don't care? Because most of the millennials were the ones called in to fight all these wars, and we've set them up overseas, and 100,000 of them they've gone out.
That's right. I can't speak for other millennials, but I would say that of course we want peace. I think that is what's going to define our generation, is how much we strive for peace, how much we strive for a peaceful living, peaceful life with others. We see that there are a lot of ideologies, a lot of different situations that have already been set up in this world that are kind of taking a tumultuous turn. And we look at those and we say, no, that's not how it should be. This is how it should be. So I think that the millennials are a generation of evolving beings, and the whole world is going towards that evolution of going back to a holistic life, coexisting, coexistence.
When you went to the White House last week and participated in a program, can you please tell us about that program? What was it about?
Sure.
And what exactly happened there?
Sure.
And what you came away from it with?
Sure. So the whole focus of the White House Hindu American Conference this year was Mahatma Gandhi's 145th birth anniversary, and the title of that conference was Dharmic Dialogue, Seva and Social Justice. Seva meaning selfless service. And the whole day we focused on how is it that the government and the community leaders within the Hindu American community can work together to tackle issues that we are facing as a country. So I was on a youth panel in which we've discussed a wide range of topics, and one of them being how we can sort of use the American life that's given to us, this a life where we don't take anything for face value, but we intellectually question everything, and take that kind of a approach to our way of life as Hindu Americans, and then understand our culture first through dialogue, Dharmic dialogue, and then use that dialogue to do good. So the whole day was about discussions, hearing from people like Senator Harris Wofford, who is a great public servant, Nisha Desai Baswal, who's the Assistant Secretary of State to John Kerry, and others, Asim Mishra and others, who were all very inspiring Hindu Americans in politics and service, but are also living the Gandhi's way of life, which was be a successful professional, at the same time be a contributing citizen of humanity and this planet.
Basically, be socially responsible.
Be responsible. Be socially responsible.
That's really wonderful. Such profound thoughts.
That's right.
And actions coming from you, and I'm really proud of you. Thank you very much, Sai. That was Sai Santosh Kumar Kolluru, a student and an activist and an active provider of food for the homeless. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. Until next time, goodbye.